Okay, this is collecting evidence for Unit 374 using the internet, learning outcome 1.3. Mike and Sarah are present and it's the 5th, no it's not, it's the 19th of January 2015. Okay, Mike, this is recording evidence for learning outcome 1.3, which says analyze the issues affecting different groups of users. So I'm going to go through each group with you. So the first group of users is new users. So what kind of problems do you think new users might face?
When using the internet, new users may not even know how to browse to different pages of the internet.
True. Okay, absolutely spot on. Because I mean, everybody assumes that everybody knows how to, but that's not the case at all. Okay, so let's pretend I'm a new user. I want you to guide me onto the internet. I want you to explain it step by step as if I was a new user. So that and what I'm going to say is I need to find a hotel in Portsmouth. So where would you start?
On the Internet Explorer icon, it may be on your desktop, or you can go to the start bottom left to find it on the list.
All right, so I've actually got it on the desktop, but I've also got it on my list as well. What would you say Internet Explorer was? How would you explain that to a new user?
A search engine, and just explain what it is. Like, you get different types of them. Internet Explorer is the main one, well, it's the one that comes with all the Microsoft PCs built in.
So is Internet Explorer the actual search engine?
Oh no, it's the browser. I mean,
good.
It's the internet browser, not
It's the internet browser. Good. Okay, so I've gone to Internet Explorer and I've gone to Google. So tell me what Google is.
Google is your search engine.
Right. Okay. And what would I use Google for?
To search for sites, so say if, or keywords of sites. So if you wanted Portsmouth hotels, that's what you'd type in.
Okay, I'm going to do that. Portsmouth hotels. Okay, so I've pressed enter. So tell me about what we've come to straight away on that site, which I think, well, a new user might need to know about.
Well, the list you see is hundreds and probably thousands of different sites advertising hotels. The top ones are probably the biggest selling sites, the most known ones. So they're probably be the most common ones you'd use. And if you click on one of the blue hyperlinks, it'll take you to their site.
Okay, so if I click on the top one, it's taken me to a list of hotels. Good. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. We're going to come back to this because we need to use it for some other learning outcomes, but we're now going to go to the next user who might need some help. So it's users with restricted access. Now I know that you're in the national health environment, so just tell me about the restricted access that your users will have as far as the internet is concerned.
All the users at the NHS, they've got basically everything's nearly enough restricted. They've only got the sites they need. So all the social networking sites are restricted, all the game websites are restricted. But everything is. It just helps the employers know that you're not going to be on other misusing sites.
Yes, because we all know that if you've got access to Facebook, then you're quite likely to use it, aren't you?
Yeah, and you'll be distracted from your work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Do you ever have any users moaning about that, or do they just accept that?
No, not really. I've not come across it.
That's pretty good, actually. We used to do the same at another centre. We wouldn't let them have Google of all. Or websites, which it was to do with IT, but we had reasons because we didn't feel they needed Google to complete what we asked them to do, so we didn't let them have Google. Okay, do you know how it's actually restricted? Is that something your company looks after in the national health, or is somebody else looking after it? Do you know?
I've never really spoken about it, and I know Jason, the boss, he never really deals with it either, but I think if we needed some access to something, Jason might be able to speak to someone. But I'm
Okay,
not
so
too sure.
are you guys restricted as well because of the very
Yeah,
fact that you're okay? So it applies to you as well.
but there's different parts. In Portsmouth and Southsea, not
Mm,
Ports in Portsmouth,
mm.
um, a lot more sites are restricted, but in Southampton they can access a few more.
Okay. Now, am I right in thinking at school you'd be restricted, or college you would have been restricted?
Yeah,
Can you remember people used to play around with proxy servers? Used to try and
uh,
bypass them.
yeah, and you could get to the sites you wanted to.
Exactly. So I'm sure that that's what they might be doing in the hospital. Or did you not mention earlier something about rules on the firewall? What was that all about? Or on your router?
Um, well, that allows you to. Does that allow you to actually use proxies or not?
Sorry, say that again.
Is there an option on there to actually be able to use
It
proxies?
really depends on your router,
Okay.
actually. But what did you say that you could do on your router to do a similar thing?
Block sites, so you could have a list of sites you wanted blocked or not.
Yeah, it's the same principle. Somewhere there will be a router or a piece of hardware that has exactly the same thing. It might be a proxy server, or it might be, like you've just said, a router where you can block the sites. So we often call them blacklists and whitelists. Okay,
Yeah.
so blacklist is obviously what you can't do, and then whitelist is what you can do. And I suspect in the hospital it's probably a whitelist because it will be a darn sight shorter than a blacklist. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the final one it talks about is users with disabilities. So, what kind of things might users suffer with that you could help resolve through Internet
Um,
Explorer?
I think the main one would be like the lack of sight, kind of. You wouldn't be able to see words are too small and things like that.
Yeah, because even what I'm looking at right now, some of it is pretty small. So, how
Yeah.
would I deal with that from within Internet Explorer?
Within the Internet Explorer, you can go to the top right of your page where the
Hmm.
settings button is. Oh, yours is different to mine.
Yeah, I've got a cog, but I know what you mean,
Yeah. You can go to that, and there'll be a zoom option.
which there is. Okay.
You can zoom quite a lot in,
You can,
too
can't you?
far in.
400%. I
Yeah.
think that would be a bit excessive. So if I try 175%, well, that's much better. What's the problem? I've got hard sight. What's the problem, though, if you go too big?
You can't see the whole page.
Yeah, you have to get a happy medium. Okay, what else can you do? Maybe not from within Internet Explorer, but generally from within Windows 7 or Windows 8 that, again, would help people who maybe have disabilities?
You can go to the start button, bottom
Mm.
left, control panel, and the ease of access, and
Oh, yeah.
it has different options of what you can change and things to help a disability person.
Okay, can you take me through a few of those just to...
Um, I'm trying to see on yours, I can't see it, but
No, have it do it
um,
on yours because you can't see my screen
yeah,
properly. So do it on yours.
there's
Talk me through it.
on mine I have a magnifier.
Yep.
Start magnifying, it lets me zoom in and move the thing background.
Okay. What else? So that again is for hard of seeing, isn't it?
I'm just trying to get out of that now. A start narrator
Uh-huh.
reads aloud text on the screen.
Okay.
You can change the contrast.
Who would that be for contrast?
Was that be colorblind?
Yeah, it
Colorblind?
would. You have to be really careful. It does actually say increase. Let me just do it. It's not going to tell me now. Come on. Yeah, it does say increase the contrast in colour to reduce eye strain and make things easier to read. You're absolutely right. It's for
Yeah.
people who are potentially colour blind or again have bad sight. Okay, but
Yeah.
people with good sight shouldn't use high contrast. Okay. Good. Okay, but if you set this up, this is for the whole computer or is it just for Internet Explorer?
That's for the actual machine, the
Okay.
computer.
So, but it would translate onto Internet Explorer, would it? You could use a combination then.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. Right.